All right, so we are live, my friends. I got a house full of kids, so I will not be responsible for any of the background noise right now. So let's have a conversation. We're gonna have a little campfire conversation. We're gonna have a little campfire conversation today about your financial freedom or your lack thereof. So who's this video for? So I'm shooting this video for guys like me. That's who most of my videos are for. Dudes like me, especially like the early version of myself. The early version being the early 30s, right? You guys just starting out on your real estate journey. And here's what I want to talk about. Like, are you financially free? So when I first got started in real estate, one of the first definitions or interpretations of the word financial freedom meant when your passive or recurring income met or exceeded your liabilities, your expenses, right? You were financially free. Man, I damn near had that tattooed to my forehead because I'm all about that. Like, that was what I wanted. This is what we all want. We want time and financial freedom, right? To pursue the things that are really in our heart. So that's why we chase money, and some people chase money just for the sake of more and don't do that. I've done it and I've been guilty of it. um that once you once you become not even a millionaire, which is not that much these days. Like, to make $1 million, not that much, or to have $1 million net worth, it's a start. But they've done studies, and once you get to like $200,000 to $300,000 a year in income versus like even 200 to 300 million, your like experience of life is not that much greater, right? Like, compared to the way the rest of the world lives, like, it's not that much greater. Like, you can take a few vacations, you've got all, anything that you want or need, food, all that kind of stuff. Like, your needs are met. Like, you've got entertainment, you've got all this kind of stuff. Compared to 15% of the world live in poverty, your needs are met. But here's my point: was that chasing that financial freedom, meaning your recurring or passive income meeting or exceeding your expenses, for me, what that meant was to leverage real estate. And prior to me entering real estate, I had no financial education. Um, and my wife and I went through Dave Ramsey training. We learned how to do the debt snowball, the baby steps, say, woohoo, we're debt free. We paid off like student loans, credit card debts, and things like that. And I immediately said, okay, what next? Because this is like a boring existence, like, working at this job that I really don't like. So at that point in time, um, I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I said, okay, now this is good debt, per Robert. This is good debt. Dave Ramsey said all debt was bad debt. Robert says there's some good debt. So I started down that path, right? Buying all my rentals. You guys know my story. I won't go into that too much right now. But I started using leverage, good debt. And I'm not gonna lie, like, good debt, real estate, good debt, that cash flowing debt is one of the probably the I wouldn't say the easiest, but yeah, probably most effective ways to create wealth in today's world. And I've been doing it for 17, 18 years. And I've done it pretty well, been pretty successful. Um, I've I don't know, something like you utilize probably something like 50 million in debt or something like that over the years, and I've had 100% track record of paying my lenders, banks and private lenders, and I'm crazy proud of that. But here's the thing: am I free? I don't think I am. I thought it was, but late last year I was just going just I don't remember what I was doing. Like a couple of different instances. One morning I was just sitting there reading, and this thought appeared in my mind about, the borrower being slave to the lender, which we've all heard. It's in the book of Proverbs. And I was going, why is that thought popping up in my head? But it was popping up pretty strongly. And then it popped up again. And I'm a big fan of Byron Katie of Loving What Is, if you know who she is. And something she says quite frequently, well, the thought appears. Well, my friends, when the thought appears, usually if it's a significant thought, it means you probably want to spend some time with it and do a little work there. Just explore it. So I began to explore that thought. And I didn't like the thought. I didn't like the thought. I've written books about playing the game of leverage, flipping houses, how to flip a house, private lender playbook. My books talk about leverage. How to leverage wisely is what I teach and preach. And this thought's appearing about borrower slave to the lender. So I went through a few weeks after that, I guess a month about after that, I went through end of the year mastermind. We're doing goal setting, all that kind of stuff, right? And just, one of the questions, just like, what do you want? Who do you want to be this year? What do you want? And it was real simple to me. Like, this thought also appeared, just be a free man. Of course I want to be a free man. Everybody wants to be a free man. And I'm like, I am a free man. And I thought, am I free? Because that thought last month was telling me, and the Bible said, the borrower is slave to the lender. So how could I be a slave and also be free? Bit of a contradiction there, my friends. So here's where I'm at. Yes, I have little kids, and this is my home office, and there's background noise, no extra charge. And what I've seen, okay, what I've seen and what I've experienced is this: even with good debt, even like with cash flowing real estate, even with loads of equity, there is still going to rob you at times of your freedom of your time, freedom of your peace, right? There's going to be thoughts, there's going to be pressure, there's going to be stress, worry, doubt, fear, problems you have to solve. Even if you have a management team and a full team like I do, there's still times where you're going to be robbed of your freedom. This is not all bad, right? For those of you who play this game of leverage, like, it's not all bad. I can tell you, I by far, like, with the exception of probably parenting and marriage, growing, building and growing my business, and the challenges and obstacles I face have been like single greatest way to grow. So they're good things. But for me, I'm entering into a new season, a new chapter that was spurred by that thought and just going down exploration. And the game of leverage is a great game. Like, I've loved the ride. Like, honestly, like, sometimes I've loathed it, but for the most part, I've loved it. It's been my journey. It's been defined me a great portion of my life. But you see that there's consequences, and there's trappings of it, and there's risk with it. We're starting to see it with multifamily going down. We're starting to see it, investors falling out of the market. Even if it's a non-recourse loan, there's still recourse. There's still money to be lost. And for these big fund guys, that money is like their investors' capital for the most part. I'm sorry, we have a special needs daughter, and sometimes it's not peaceful here. Maybe experiencing one of those moments. So there are repercussions, not always, but there can be. And so as I began, and this is just me sharing, and I'm hoping some of you guys out there getting some of you other real estate investors, because what I explored, my exploration ultimately led me to this, is there's a way to do real estate. There's a real way to do real estate without the banks, without debt. And I'm moving towards this, is I'm going to be moving, either selling or moving my portfolio to 100% debt free. And I started exploring, like, how could I do it? Like, well, I could just sell. I already have some free and clear real estate. I can just sell real estate that I have debt on, pay off other real estate, and I'll just keep a small portion of my portfolio, and own it free and clear. Okay, so that was where I was at, and that was one option. But I was like, man, is there a way I could, like, keep it? Like, you just got to ask yourself this question how sometimes. So I'm like, how can I keep my real estate and be debt free? It's like really a simple answer. It was like, with partners. I started my business my second year after I did 10 rentals, all of Fannie Mae loans. I moved to doing partnerships. So as I do partnerships, I've already done a couple of syndications where we bought big land deals and I raised money, several $1,000,000, and we bought land free and clear. And we're in the position of selling that land now with no debt. I'm like, I can do that with my real estate portfolio. It's a little bit more complicated. I've got rentals, I've got owner finance notes, I've got mobile home parks, RV parks, got a lot of stuff. 6-figure monthly revenue. It's quite a bit. That was a little bit overwhelming to me, of thinking about migrating and changing that over there. But I'm doing it. I'm getting to it. It's like I'm doing it, and that, as an entrepreneur, and I would say as a God-led entrepreneur, meaning, like, I really do try to abide by, like, that calling that's in my heart, which I think is God speaking to me. Sometimes I'm pretty sure of it. Sometimes I'm very sure of it. Sometimes I'm not so sure. I'm just trying to journey down the path of where my heart's telling me to go, and this is where it's telling me to go. And here's what I want you to consider. Like, it's a bit of an uncharted path that I'm going down, but I'm going down it. And I intend to share my experiences, good, bad, difficult, indifferent, along the way. That's what I'm doing in this video. And here's some things that I have come to terms with and embracing, really, is that my business will not be, most likely, not be as big as I thought it would be. It could be bigger, though. Now that I'm saying that out loud, like I was journaling, I was like, it won't be bigger because I can't use leverage. It could be bigger. It could be bigger, because how could that be? So when I begin raising capital for this fund, and what I'm doing is I've got, roughly right now, it's probably like 13 million valuation of real estate, right? Debt is a little around in the 65% of that is going to be raised capital for that. So instant equity for my partners in that I've been building my whole life. So I'm going to give up some equity. I'm going to give up quite a bit, not 50%, but I'm going to give up quite a bit. I'm going to give up some cash. I could make more money with the banks, but what am I gaining with that? Number one, it's just like financial peace, like true financial peace. Like, we're 100% bank free, right? So balance sheet, loads of cash, loads of assets, zero debt. Think about that. That's a beautiful thing. I'm a free man. There's responsibilities. There's some time. There's going to be some problems. I get it. But whenever you have that debt weighing above your head, on your shoulders, you think and act differently. That's when you have the sleepless nights. That's when you're biting your nails. That's when you're wanting to drink because you're stressed out, figuring that stuff out. Been in that situation so many more times than I care to talk about. Some of you are in that situation now. So I'm just telling you, consider there may be a better way. There may be. I'm at the beginning of this journey. Like I'm literally taking the first steps, and all I'm doing is documenting it and like sharing it with you. And I'm going to go down that path. Perhaps I can be a guide to some of you as I go down that path. That if this is something like in your heart where it's hitting you, like, dude, Brent, like I'm stressed out because I played the leverage game a little too much, got yourself like in a bad trap. It happens. I know. One of my old students, like I'm helping him through a situation. He reached out a couple months ago, and he got himself into a pickle. You know, he's got himself a pretty big pickle, um, and it's not easy. And we're working through it. But I'm just sharing with you. You may not be financially free if you don't have freedom. That's all I'm saying. And I know I want freedom. I want time and I want financial freedom. I want more today than I had yesterday. I will want more tomorrow than I have today. Simple as that. And the path that I learned from Dave was not going to give me what I wanted. The path that I learned from Robert has been very good to me, but has not given me what I fully wanted. So perhaps the divine merger of the two and just taking some time to explore my thoughts, listen to that voice inside, may have brought me to what I'm calling doing real estate God's way. The ability to leverage my lenders to have real estate debt free, while at the same time my lenders are able to leverage me and my team and all that we've done and built over 18 years and what we'll do in the future. And as I'm saying this out loud, who knows? Maybe I'll raise $100 million and do all kinds of stuff. I don't really have those aspirations. One of our company mantras is small but mighty. There's nothing wrong with being David. He kicked Goliath's ass, if you recall. And I've like some of the people who are big time, dude, I don't want their lives. I don't want their lives. People I know in real estate, I mean, we live quite well. I don't want to brag or boast, but there's like 5 or 6, if not more, current or former, professional ball players, NBA and NFL in my neighborhood. There's a lot of very, very successful people in my neighborhood. We bumped into one at dinner last night. We become friends. There's others, and some of them, and I don't know a lot too well, but some not so happy. Not so happy. Just want to be happy, make money, help others, serve others, but most importantly, be able to pursue the callings in my heart. The only way you can do that, my friends, is to have true financial freedom in order to do it at the fullest. Take care, my friend.